Hi everyone. In this tutorial, I'm going to talk about the tab order in Storyline 360, and this does apply to some extent to Storyline 2 if you're using anything after update 5. Now, some users will not use the mouse to navigate through their Storyline modules, but they'll use the keyboard, and primarily they'll use the tab key, and potentially even in conjunction with a screen reader. So if I hit the tab key, you can see that a yellow box appears around objects on my slide, and as I keep hitting the tab key, I keep moving from object to object. Now the default setting for that is that it's usually left to right, top to bottom, and then after the objects on the slide have been viewed, it will move then to the player objects and will allow you to navigate that way. Now there might be some objects on the slide that you don't need them to tab to, so you can take those out. It also means that by customizing the tab order, you don't have to arrange the objects on the slide from left to right, top to bottom. You can place them anywhere and then set the tab order. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to close the preview down. And where you need to be for the particular slide is in the Home tab, and there's an option for tab order. So if I click on that, a dialog box will open where we have the objects on the slide and the default tab order. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually create a custom tab order for this particular slide. And then for the objects I have on my slide, I can maybe move them around, or I can remove them altogether. Now you'll see that, for instance, here's my heading. Where my heading is, I could move that to the top so that that will be the first object that the tab order will go to. Then I might want them to tab to the character, so I could move it up to the top, and then maybe the text that's on the slide itself. Move that up. So it will now tab to the heading, then the character, then the text. Now, if I decided I didn't want the character, I could delete it from the tab order, so the character will still be there. It will just get skipped, or any objects that you don't need the tab functionality to pick up on, you can remove them. There's also some things I've got here at the bottom here that are on the slide master, and they're just really the background picture and a couple of rectangles that I've used as part of the overall design of the slide. But you'll see that the trash can symbol for those objects is not available. It won't let me delete them. So we have to go in, because I've put those on the slide master, we actually have to take them out of the tab order from there. So I'm going to save what I've done. I'm happy with here. You can also, at this point, you can add some alternate text, and that will be picked up by the screen reader as to what the text, what you want it to pick up as. So say for my character, I could actually call him possibly the narrator or something like that, and that's what will be picked up. If you don't put anything in the alternate text for certain objects, what it's called in the text box, in the timeline, is what it will pick up for for the screen reader. So I'm going to save this. Now, I don't want it to text. The objects that I want to remove from my tab order are these couple of rectangles here and that background image, because I've put them in the master slide to give me that consistency throughout my project, but I don't want them in the tab order for every single slide in my project. So what I have to do for anything in the slide master, and that could also be logos as well, is to go to the View tab and then Slide Master. And then what I need to do for each of those three objects is select the object, and then I just right click and go down to Size and Position. And when that dialog box opens, there's a tab in there called Alt Text, and that's where you could put the alternate text for each object individually, but the tab order lets me do everything on the slide at once. But then what I need to do for this background image is untick this object visible to accessibility tools and then close it. So doing that for each of the objects, it could be a logo that you don't want to pick up on, you don't want the tab order to pick up on, you just do that in the slide master itself. Size and position, and then delete that off. So now those three objects will be removed from my tab order. So when I close the master view down and go back to tab order, they're now removed, and I only have the objects that are on the slide itself. And then save. So now when I do a quick preview, I can see when I hit the tab key that I go to the only those other objects are skipped. And it doesn't go to those rectangles and those background images. So the customizing the tab order is something you need to do on a slide-by-slide level. You can also include layers in terms of your tabbing order, so you may need to play around with moving from an object on the base to content on a layer and then back again. You can also customize it for sliders and those kinds of things as well. But the beauty of the tab order is that it lets you remove anything from there that's not really needed for people navigating via the keyboard and maybe using a screen reader. You can remove them. Plus, you can also add all the alternate text in one hit. So that's it for this tutorial, customizing the tab order in Storyline 360.